everyone, welcome back to our channel, We're the Movie Couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin, and this is our non-spoiler review for Love Hurts. Marvin, a realtor, receives a crimson envelope from a former partner in crime whom he left for dead, and now finds himself thrust back into a world of ruthless hitman and double crosses. Love Hurts is the first starring role for Huy Quan, and I was so excited for this movie to come out when I found out that he was going to be the lead in this, that it was going to have martial arts in it, that it was going to have action in it, and I was like, this is perfect. I love the fact that this is going to be his not breakout, but his first time being the lead in a movie, and it's also a Valentine's Day movie, so take your dates out and have fun with this one.
But do keep in mind that this is a rated R movie, and the actions like the fight scenes and everything, they don't hold back on the bloodiness and the goriness. They're like, make sure if this is like first couple of dates, like make sure your partner or whoever you're taking are okay with the blood and the violence, and if you guys are both okay with it, then go have fun. And they definitely lean into that Valentine's Day sort of love theme, which I think is so cute, very appropriate for also like the title called Love Hurts. Like literally, Huy Quan suffers a lot of hurt in this movie. Like the man gets beat up, but he also dishes it out, which we've seen examples of it obviously in, I think most notably is Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I still can't believe he's not technically
my mind.
Yeah, and like the fact that he's technically not like the lead in that movie, that he's technically billed as a supporting, which was why this movie makes it his like first like starring role. The man is carrying the movie, and I think he does it so well. I think he does it with ease. This is a movie where they do kind of cram quite a bit into this movie. So he plays a realtor, is loving his realtor life. He wants that like regional realtor of the year award, works really hard to get it. He's good at it too. And he's living this peaceful life until he gets a mysterious red envelope from someone from his past. And then we are introduced to what he used to do with his past, which is almost, it's not quite like John Wick. But he does dole out some pretty violent things.
I do have to admit the storyline is a little convoluted, a little weird, but it's very campy, and it's kind of does fit that, hey, we're trying to make a Valentine's Day action comedy. It is honestly, I feel like the story and the plot do kind of didn't really need that Valentine's Day story. I feel like it would have been actually a lot better if they would have taken that out and kind of made it just a standalone, not going to be trying to fit it into like the holiday season of movies to go take your Valentine's Day or your Valentine's date to. Mm. I feel like it's just, there was a lot of things where I was just kind of like, huh, okay. I mean, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, because they lean into why he wanted to get away from his past life, what he used to do, and why he works so hard at kind of protecting what he has now, and what is the significance of Rose, played by Ariana DeBose, coming back into his life, and how that basically turns like his entire universe upside down. So they also give her an arc as well, and it's interesting, but because they kind of are handcuffed to the romantic theme of it, I feel like that hurt that arc because it feels so like far away and separate from it, where it's kind of like it's not interconnecting. It feels forced. I would have liked to seen like one or the other, but not necessarily both. I feel like a lot of the times the writing feels very uneven, like the dialogue, and I don't know if this has to do with also like editing and or direction, but it feels like very staccato at times. And same thing with the editing. Usually with films from 87-11, I feel like the action is edited really well. And this one has a lot of shots that do capture the choreography, but not as much as I would have liked. They kind of lean into a little bit of that shaky cam, a little bit stylistic. Not too terribly where you can't see it, but I really would have preferred more of a John Wick take. Not like in dark and gritty vibe, but just in like a more pulled back, wider shot, master shot situation, because you've got, Key, who is great at martial arts. He's got fantastic form, and he really shows it off in this movie. You got Daniel Wu in this, who is also very capable of the same. The two of them actually worked on American Born Chinese together, but I actually don't think they shared.
Nope, they never showed screen time
at all. And also, Key's character in that was not really like a fighting kind of a character, at least in the season that was shown. So like that was kind of disappointing that a lot of it played not so much like super close up, but like a medium shot.
Yeah, they really could. They used it every now and again to where you got some good shots of the stunt. There are certain moves to where you're just like, oh, that was a brutal hit. The way there are some moments where you're like, that's where the stuntmen got to shine. But there were just a lot of shots that were still kind of super close. You could tell that they were trying to cover something up. I feel like they really could have done a lot more if they would have just given Kihi a little bit more space and been able to show off his special skills, because he does have a certain set of skills that I was not aware that he had until we saw Everything Everywhere All at Once. There were a lot of moments in the action, I mean, that the action really did shine, but they did kind of rely a lot on like the campiness, the moments to where you're like, wait a second, didn't they just get like stabbed in the hand and they're just now wielding it normal? There were a lot of unbelievable moments that I really wish they would have reeled in just a bit.
I will say on that too, they do have, and they did capture this part in the movie for some of the fight scenes, like that very fast. The only thing I can think of in referencing it to is how you see Jackie Chan fights in his movie. So not just like really quick, kind of like upper body movements for like blocking and striking, but also using your environment. If you pick up a cutting board or a water pitcher or a refrigerator, like they lean into using stuff creatively, which I love seeing. And those they use, a little bit more of a wide shot, but most of it, I think it feels more of a medium shot, which is a little disappointing, but I feel like they were trying to fit in a specific style for the movie so that overall it feels a bit more cohesive.
Yeah, and one of the things too with some of these shots that they made, I just feel like they were really attempting to try to pull off that Jackie Chan vibe, but they only put like just a sprinkling of it in. I really wish they would have just sometimes have gone full Jackie Chan on it, with him using the environment a little bit more. I thought those were really cool when they did have it in there.
Like what Key did with the fanny pack and Everything Everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fantastic. So, but aside from that, you still can see how much stunt work, martial arts training, and all of that goes into it. And a lot of it, you can totally tell is Key doing himself. And it's really incredible. I think what I appreciate most about this movie is seeing him shine in the leading man role. And he is playing the action hero. He is playing the comic relief. And he's playing the romantic interest. I feel like Hollywood said to him, we're so sorry we didn't have any roles for you all these years. Here, do it all. Do it all in one movie.
I do have to admit, though, I did not believe the romantic relationship between him and the character Rose. I feel like they really kind of just either just glanced over it and took it out of the dialogue and out of the scenes. But there was I didn't feel the chemistry between him and Rose.
Yeah, I agree with you. There was at one point where you kind of see it from her POV and what she feels about him, but it's such a small glimpse of it, and everything else after that, it became secondary to her. Like the emotional attachment of it came second nature to her, because for her, there was another bigger thing at play, and it kind of overpowered the second thing, which is technically like the love theme was what the movie was technically, I feel like, wanted it to focus on, because it's called Love Hurts, and it very much leaned into like the love thing. There was another couple, very unexpected, that is in, we won't say too much after this, like I won't even say who, but I definitely felt their chemistry way more.
It was super cheesy.
And I loved it.
Super cheesy.
Ate it up.
But it was one of those things that you're just kind of like, okay, that's kind of funny.
Yeah. So, and they actually try to do it with one other character as well, more of like his like romantic situation versus like him trying
Oh
to,
yeah.
trying to get
His
with
relationship.
somebody, right? So I overall there was like the overall like love connecting theme, but I think for between Marvin, sorry, between Marvin and Rose, it didn't unfortunately work. I didn't believe it. I didn't feel the chemistry. Not saying that their performances weren't good. It's just that I felt like Rose, they kind of wrote her to be more focused on the other thing, which was
Yeah.
like her revenge.
So those are our thoughts on Love Hurts. For details of our rating system, it's down in the description down below. Overall, I feel like this movie had some things that were fun and entertaining, but I still feel like it fell short on a lot of different things that I really wanted to see when it comes to like the relationship between some of the characters, some of the storyline and plot points. There was still a lot of fun action, so I'm going to give this movie a stream it.
And for me, look, I had a lot of fun knowing that Key was going to be like this is his, first leading role essentially, which it doesn't even feel like it. I feel like he's been the leading man for like the last couple of things that he's been in. But it is his first like actual leading role, and I was just so happy to see him on screen carrying a movie and showing the world. If you don't already know, he can be funny. He can do martial arts. He can do dark characters, like all of it. He can do a romantic interest and all of that. I love that. The writing fell short for me. The editing, sometimes you could kind of see like really weird cuts. Continuity was definitely there was noticeable. There were certain things that were not continuity, specific like drink things, like people were drinking. It's just kind of like one scene. It's like there's a lot. Next cut, there's nothing, and then they go back and forth. There was also a bit of like you could really notice the ADR that was not really matching up perfectly. You could hear it and you could see it. I wouldn't say it's like Madame Web bad, because I remember seeing that was pretty bad. So I wouldn't say it's quite on that level, but it's noticeable enough for you to kind of take you out of the movie. I wish I could feel the connection between the romantic connection between Marvin and Rose. Unfortunately, that fell short for me as well. But I still enjoyed the stunts. I like that they got really creative with a lot of them. And again, favorite thing was to see Key shine, which I think he did in this movie. And my rating is going to be matinee. So there you have it. Those are our thoughts and our rating for Love Hurts. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below once you've seen the movie. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.